My dad abandoned me for his stepson, then acted shocked when I left. Original post. I'm 19M, and my parents split up when I was 2. Growing up, I had a decent relationship with my dad. He wasn't perfect, but he was present, and I always thought we had a good bond. That changed when I was 9 and he got remarried. His new wife had a son, Landon, who's 3 years younger than me. After the wedding, everything shifted. My dad started prioritizing Landon in every possible way. He stopped following through on promises to me, he bailed on plans, and even when we were all together, it felt like I didn't exist. His reasoning: Landon never had a real dad, and I want to be that for him. Meanwhile, I was still his actual son, and I was being emotionally phased out. The worst moment, when I was 13 and my mom passed away. I was shattered. That same day, my dad still went to take Landon to a father-son football event they had planned. He knew about my mom, he knew I was grieving, and he still chose to go play football. His wife later told me I was being selfish and ruining Landon's special day. Were other times too, like when I asked him to take me out for cake and ice cream to celebrate an award I got at school. He agreed at first, but 2 days later told me he had to work overtime that week and could only keep one of the weekend plans. He chose to stick with Landon's all-day karate event instead. It was clear where I stood, so I learned to stop hoping for more. By the time I was 16, I emotionally detached. I stopped asking for anything. I stopped caring. I started planning to disappear from his life after I turned 18. His wife and I butted heads constantly in that final year. She wanted me to watch Landon when she had things to do. He was 14, fully capable of being alone, but she babied him endlessly. When I refused, the fights turned ugly. After I moved out, something must have shifted for my dad because he suddenly started reaching out, texting, inviting me over, asking to talk. I didn't entertain it, I never led him on, I just said no. I wasn't rude, I just didn't pretend I wanted to rebuild something I'd already buried. Then came the holidays. He wanted me to come home for Christmas. I declined. He later invited me on a family vacation. Again, I said no. That's when things escalated. I was visiting some relatives on my dad's side when he, his wife, and Landon showed up unexpectedly. I tried to leave, but he stopped me and begged me to stay. Even Landon asked if I'd hang out with him. I told them no. My dad asked why I kept refusing to spend time with them. His wife jumped in, acting like I was being dramatic and punishing my family. That's when I finally snapped. I told my dad that this was the consequence of always putting Landon first. I reminded him that he didn't just mess up once, he made a pattern out of choosing someone else's child over his own. I told him he wasn't my family anymore and left. Apparently, he blew up on the relatives I was visiting, and his wife has been sending me nasty messages since. She says I'm being cruel and immature, and that Landon is the real victim because he lost a brother. I told her Landon never had a brother, and I blocked her. My dad's still trying to reach out, but I've muted him. I'm not interested in pretending we're family just because he regrets it now. Update 1 after the confrontation. I didn't expect so much fallout after that last conversation, but here we are. The relatives I was visiting, my dad's cousins, who I'm still close with, reached out and said they understood why I reacted the way I did. They admitted my dad's sudden interest in reconnecting felt more like guilt than genuine change. They also told me his wife went on a whole rant after I left, calling me entitled and dramatic, and saying I was ruining the family with resentment. That's rich, considering she spent years turning their house into a place I couldn't even breathe without conflict. Apparently, Landon's been asking a lot of questions too. He's confused and upset, and while I don't blame him, I'm also not responsible for fixing what his mom and my dad broke. I was a kid too when they put all their effort into bonding with each other and left me on the sidelines. That's not something a family vacation can fix. Update 2 where I stand now. I've made peace with my choice. I'm not saying I'll never talk to my dad again. Maybe one day, when there's genuine accountability, and he shows he understands what he did, not just that he feels bad now that I'm gone. But for now, I'm focusing on myself, my healing, and the people who showed up for me when I needed them. If my dad truly wants to rebuild anything, it starts with him owning the past. Until then, I'm not open to manufactured apologies or emotional manipulation. And if his wife or stepson feel that's unfair, well, they can live with the outcome of the choices he made.